Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. Thanks for joining me today. I did play pickleball, and shout out to my instructor down in Kiowa Island. If you haven't seen my episode on Kiowa Island pickleball lessons, go back and watch it. So shout out to my instructor down there, Alex. You might be watching. I hope you are. And I want you to know, Alex, that all my serves went in but one, all but one. And it's because it was wicked windy. And I think it was just barely out. And everybody was like, oh, that was the wind. That was the wind. Did you see what the wind did to that ball? So otherwise, all my serves were in, Alex, thanks to your great instruction last week. I did play 4 games. I won 2. I lost 2. And the reason I won and the reason I lost, because I was playing with someone who loves to tell me to get up to the net, get up to the net, get up to the net. And then when I'm playing against them, they're shooting it way in the back. I know it is a psychological operation with this person in my head, and they know I don't like going up to the net. So, Alex, one thing at a time. I'm starting to get really comfortable with my serve to the point where halfway through the games, I wasn't even worried about it going in. But before, I couldn't think about anything else. And now I'm just concentrating on trying to get up to the net, but we'll get there. Something serious to talk about today, unfortunately, in the politics part of this episode. We're going to talk about child abuse, child trafficking, human trafficking, kind of a little bit altogether, but so much of this is dealing with the way children are being exploited, sadly, in this world, in this country. There is a new movie coming out. I encourage you to buy tickets in advance to go see it. It is called The Sounds of Freedom, or Sounds of Freedom. And it stars Jim Caviezel, and he plays a former Homeland Security. It is based on a true story, a former Homeland Security agent who leaves the agency because of what he's seeing in Latin America dealing with child trafficking. And he quits the agency and starts an underground railroad, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is still operating today down in Latin America. And I saw Jim Caviezel on talking about the movie, and it is sad and maddening. That's the word. It seems to be the word I'm using more and more these days. Maddening. Maddening enough that I went and bought a bunch of tickets on the 4th of July. Like, I thought to myself afterwards, why am I at 4th of July? But that's when it's playing, the 4th of July. So I'm going to sacrifice my day of, evening. The tickets are in the evening. I'll be able to maybe to get a hot dog in or two in the afternoon. But I thought to myself, it's okay to go to a movie that is about freedom, because there are so many situations and in the world right now where there'll be no celebrations unless we're able to stop what's going on. And I have a feeling this human trafficking, and especially the trafficking of children, is one of them. So Jim Caviezel, I saw him on, and he was talking about how a barrel of body parts goes for $77,000. And a barrel of oil only goes for about $75. Think about that. There is big money in trafficking kids, in trafficking people, period. So Jim also was talking about how 65% of child porn made in the world is made in Mexico. Kind of like our cars, right? I know they say that the cars aren't made there, they're assembled here, but the parts are made in Mexico. And so I'd hate to think that that is something that Mexico is proud of. It is basically a Catholic country. And the idea that 65% of child porn is made in the country, it's just disgusting. So I encourage you to go see Sound of Freedom. I have not seen it myself, but I'm hearing a lot of buzz about it. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about the exploitation of children. And I was just watching some hearings on C-SPAN, congressional hearings on this, human trafficking. And then a story just came out. Actually, it happened on Saturday. I'll be honest, this is Thursday. I'm recording this. And it is about another case here in Boston. Boston seems to be making the headline on gross, disgusting cases. We're going to talk about the Harvard morgue scandal next week. And this isn't the same, but it's still a disgusting story. So this past Saturday in Boston, in South Boston, actually, first responders found a trans woman. Actually, they said it was a man who identified as a woman. Dead. They had in the middle of a apartment. And when they got there, the first responders, the man had had a heart attack. When they got there, there were 6 other men dressed as women. And they were not cooperating with authorities at all. The authorities found 4 children in the bathroom, ages 5 to 10, had been hidden there. The men did not cooperate at all. The apartment was filled with drugs, drug paraphernalia, complete squalor, they said, alcohol, and lots of sex toys. I do not even want to think about why those children were being hidden and what they were doing with those children. Because if they weren't doing anything with the kids, they wouldn't be hiding them. They were high, they were drunk, and it was obviously a lot of debauchery going on there is going to be my guess. That's just my guess. I've been around enough. I've been around long enough to know that you mix sex toys, alcohol, drugs, and all the rest, and probably nothing good is happening there, especially when children are involved. They also said that the conditions were unsanitary, which made me wonder, well, I don't need to go there. Anyways, besides the outrageousness of that situation, 4 children between 5 and 10 found in an apartment with 1 dead man who identifies as a woman on the ground and 6 other men dressed as women with alcohol and sex toys and drugs and drug paraphernalia and complete squalor. This should be one of the top stories in Boston. It should be one of the top stories in the nation. Why isn't the media covering it? I can't find it in the Boston Globe. I had to go halfway down the page in the Herald to find it. I read about it on Daily Mail, which is a UK publication. Sure, it has a US section, but it was a UK publication. Why aren't we hearing about it? Does the mainstream media refuse to cover stories if it doesn't fit the narrative of who is their current victim favorite group? Because this story should be national news. Do you want to know what the governor of Massachusetts came out and said? Governor Maura Healey came out and said, this is why we need reform. In pre-K to 12th grade, LBGT, inclusive sex education. What does one have to do with the other? These were grown men who had children in an apartment with them, high and drunk. They hid those children. Thankfully, the children are now in foster care. I really pray for those children. I hope you say a little prayer for those children. I hope they can get the help they need in life, because I can't even imagine what they've been put through. My head went to the worst possible place. But I want you to think about that. Why is the media covering? Why is the media not want Jim Caviezel's new movie to be out? Because Hollywood is fighting it. They do not want it distributed. We need to stop the demand of human trafficking. This is bipartisan. This isn't somebody shouldn't have a problem with this, whether you're on the left or the right. No one should want to see children exploited this way. This should be a topic we can all get around and agree with. We can't find the solution if we don't know what the problem is. And if the media is covering the problem, this is just going to continue to exist because nobody has the courage to deal with it. It is sickening and it's maddening. That's the term, maddening. I want to know why the media is not covering this. There has to be a reason. I think we know why. I hate that so many of these topics are depressing and they're down, and I don't have the solution. I'm just one person. I'm just out here trying to let you know what's going on. It's going to take a whole lot of people like me to get out here and say, enough, stop the madness. You can reach me on Getter at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Instagram at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Twitter at Pickle and Paul. You can go to my website, pickleballandpolitics.com. You can message me right here on YouTube. I love to hear what you have to say. Please leave me a message. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like. I'd love for you to subscribe. If you want to know how great a teacher Alex is at Kiowa Island, you can go back and watch that review. I think it says Pickleball Lessons on Kiowa Island. Until next time, pray for this country, pray for this world, pray for humanity, because we don't seem to be getting any better at being humans. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.